Here we go, recording. All right. Hi. So I am with my friend Tammy Woodwick, and we are going to do another video because I love your story and I want to chat with you and ask you some questions. Your journey is really incredible. So, hello.
Hi, I am just so excited to hang out with you. This is hanging out these
Oh,
days.
thank you. It's a lot of fun, isn't it?
Yes.
I actually don't mind doing Zooms. I like
I
doing
don't
it.
either. They're our connection to the world sometimes.
Right? Yeah. So we're going to talk about your Truvy journey today and your background and different things. So tell me, when did you start Truvy?
Last February, my husband actually was scrolling through Facebook one day, and I had lost touch with a friend, and I mean, not just life busy, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, Susan,
Yeah.
doing really great." And I was doing really, really bad. I think both of us were pretty scared about the condition of my body at that time. And he said, "I think we need to try this." And I'm like, except I'm never doing anything like this again. And then I creeped on her and I saw that she was looking, you could not deny the changes in her face. And I know that's what I struggle with, is the puff. So, started in February, and within a few days, I saw a difference in my face. Not only, just a slight bit of the puff reduction, but I just didn't look as ill as I had been looking.
I love when you said that when I talked to you earlier, that, yeah, you just didn't, your face didn't look ill anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, I was feeling I was kind of accepting my circumstances. I was accepting, like, it's okay, Tam. Here's your 1X shirt in the closet, and it's okay. You're dealing with a lot of stuff. And I was starting to, I'm having compassion on my dysfunction. And I'm just like, I'm trying to get better. And this is still what I have here, even with praying. And, but then we tried this, and I started to feel more energy, which then sent me, to realize maybe I can do more. Maybe I'm just not going downhill. And seriously considering what we need to do if I were disabled, which is still something we have to roll around in our minds. But
Well,
I thought it was going to happen sooner than later.
Yeah, this is a good spot to talk about where you were at before you started Truvy, because you're mentioning a lot of things, and I just would love to hear a little history about some of the things that you are dealing with.
I have to shoo my kids away. They just got home from school. I'm
That's
dealing
okay.
with children.
I know, I've got people walking in the door too. It's okay. It's life, right? But there were some things that you had mentioned to me, things that you're dealing with.
I have a working diagnosis of POTS, which is post-orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, which I'm sure, Lisa, you're pretty familiar with. But like just tomorrow, I have an echo to rule out any other issues because POTS is so confusing.
Yeah.
And I've been dealing, with those symptoms for about 2 years.
Okay.
Which is temperature, sweating. You can feel like you're going to faint. I have fallen down. But because of when I started Truvy, then, like I said, I started feeling better. And then I noticed a lot of puff. I call it puff. We can call it what we want.
Yeah.
Swelling, puff, whatever. So much of that went down, which also relieved so much pain that I actually was then able to go to the doctor and say, hey, this is actually where I hurt. It's not, so all over my body. And then we started pinpointing through different specialists, even some of my issues, which are like sinus tarsi syndrome in both feet, tibial tendonitis in both my hands. I have like hypermobile thumbs, so they can come out. I lost count of surgeries as far
We're
as everything
talking
else
about
goes.
dropping things too. Like you
Oh
would
my
drop
Lord, I wasn't only dropping, I was throwing. There were some days that I was walking with my drink or whatever, and my arms would go poof. And I actually laughed my butt off one day because I actually spilled it all over my head.
Oh no.
And so those are like weird nervous system tics or something. I don't know. I'm not having those issues like I was. In fact, I don't even know where my hand splints are right now because I did do PT to help me strengthen to be able to walk more, and I did get both ankles braced. Both hands needed a lot of help, so I did OT, PT plus my supplements, and my PT was like noticed that I was not as puffy, and that I recovered really well and finished therapy before we thought I would. So that was
Wow.
very exciting.
Wow. And you had mentioned to me when we had talked about all of the different health issues that you have, that you had felt hopelessness.
Oh my
You had
Lord.
felt like you were going to be stuck there forever. And that's a horrible feeling to have. And to have something help you overcome that is
Yes.
incredible.
I was accepting, like, okay, I was, I wanted to find purpose, even if my body was not going to do what I wanted it to do. I knew through faith that God could still use me in some way. So I kind of was like, okay, God, do you want me to do work with my hands and feet, or do you want me to use my voice? Because I'll do either one. I'd love to do both. And
Amen.
for a while there, I thought, okay, it's my voice. That's it. And I have regained, I would say, complete function in my hands.
It's
And I
incredible.
don't hurt. And I'm not splinting all the time. So I was able to strengthen. We're going to talk about perception in a bit.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, why don't we go ahead right into that? Because that was something you had mentioned too, is your perception of where you were at and now where you are.
right. So I'm really thankful. While I had so much dysfunction, honestly, it was the only feeling better that made me think, okay, well, I'm ready to fight for it then. What do I need to do? So yeah, brace me up. What do we have to do? And yep, I have a cane. I'll do what I have to do. I still want a future and
Yeah.
a career. I decided even through this time to go back to school. Where was I going, Lisa?
Your perception, like, because
Oh,
you felt so
perception.
hopeless and like you felt you were stuck. And
Right.
now getting
And
into Truvy and feeling good has led you to want to fight for your health again.
to have the energy
Yes.
and to have the mindset, um, because there's people cheering for us and relating to our issues.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're just when we're alone in our struggles, it gets depressing. So I perceived weakness in my body.
Mm.
And there were some days where my body actually was weak when they tested my muscles, but it was not like we can have a perception of weakness in our bodies. Like in my case, though, maybe just some muscles needed to be woke up because pain stops them. So
Mm-hmm.
with my puff going down, with other things balancing inside my body to help me feel better, um, we were able to just start helping me get stronger and to feel good enough to try to get stronger
Oh,
is where it's at. Because I do not believe that anyone in this world has chosen to stop moving and suffer.
Yeah. Wow. It's so powerful to hear you talk about that and to hear where you have come from, that you were, dropping things and having muscle spasms, and you have braces, and you have, all these issues, and being that puff, and having that go down, and to be able to know that your body was meant for more, and to have the energy and to have the strength and emotionally and mentally to do that. You mentioned that this has helped with your mood to be able to overcome, and has given you hope to be able to overcome. And the changes that I've seen some of your before and afters. It's incredible. I know a lot of people talk about weight issues, but for you, I know there's been some weight loss, but your BMI has gone down more than what I think your actual pounds would correlate with, which is amazing.
And even with the few weeks that I didn't use my supplements, just for I wanted, a pure accurate picture of my health.
Yeah.
And I was still had energy, though. I'm like, this isn't completely changing my life. But eventually my GI system was like, uh-oh. And then all the problems start happening again. Even my
Tell me
face.
what just happened.
As far as
about your GI.
Oh,
and this literally just happened, right? This week.
Lordy.
Tell me that little story real quick.
You guys, okay, super personal. Thought I had a UTI because that's what the pain felt like. No. And on the other hand, I'm like, why would I still keep getting these? I take good care of myself. Well, I didn't. And it ends up that my muscles got so tight in my SI area. And I know my belly got full because I went to the doctor one day for that pain. And she said, go home and do a good cleanse. And guess what? We have one. And I believe that I had like 6 pounds. Wow. And that hurt so bad.
So you went home and took Renew.
I did. And then like I was down 4 pounds the next day. Yeah.
4 pounds. That's incredible.
And then I was like, and I know there's another couple today. Because this is part of my tissue issue, is my GI system or tissues, So yeah. And then I am doubling up on our blood chemistry, even though my labs were beautiful and my cardiovascular health was looking kind of scary there for a bit. And it's perfect despite the pain I was in. From, I would imagine, I got puffy and full again, and that affects absolutely everything.
Yep. That puffiness, we say. There's another word for it. And it wreaks havoc on every part of your body, and it can happen quick. It can linger, but you can also get rid of it quick. And that's one of the first things that I noticed when I started Truvy, was that puff stuff went away. I just think your story is incredible. And you have a little something to show us. Talk about that.
Oh, okay, guys.
Because this ties into a phrase that you said to me.
Yes.
And I love it.
The first time that I had this little piece of paper fall out of my Bible one day, and it was when my middle son was so sick. And we had support and resources, thank God. But I picked it up and it said, he has prepared me for what he has prepared for me.
I love that.
As I have needed some mobility aids, I actually bought these tennis shoes. I bought this tennis shoe. I found it for $23 online. Can you see it?
Yes.
And the reason I bought this giant tennis shoe was because my feet were so swollen.
Mm.
And I was really struggling to walk and it hurt so bad. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? And my hands aren't working. So I might as well, like, I could use some Velcro, even though I gave my dad a really hard time when he wore Velcro shoes. So I bought these online for $23, I swear, maybe 2 years ago. And then it just happens that as I started doctoring and reading my chart, difficulty walking, which I know I'm having difficulty walking, but it's weird to admit that you're having difficulty walking. So then my podiatrist tells me I have these issues with, because of my tissue issues, Ehlers-Danlos.
Mm-hmm.
And so he gave me a custom brace, which you guys at first, in fact, I only just saw a video and read the instructions for this brace. And every morning I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to put on my brace. I don't want to put it on. And I just realized I'm going to put us down. Okay. Because it's this big guy. It's like this.
Uh-huh.
And I'm a rebel, and I have another one that's different on my other ankle. But it must be pride. I don't know. Anyway, so I see this simple little video to put this actually inside your shoe. And I had been buckling it from the front when actually all you need to do, it's so easy, is slip your foot in there, leave this in your shoe, and it's not that big of a stinking deal. So, and I'm just like, it's kind of equating to how we use our supplements sometimes, and me included. Just like, that's all you got to do. You swallow your pill or your, you take your drink and you just do it every day. It's not that hard. It's really stinking easy. So if I don't do this, the same thing that happens to my entire body happens to my ankle and foot.
Mm.
And my body needs that support, just like my, limbs need support through my braces.
I love that analogy. That is incredible.
Whoops, just lost
And
it.
that's true. We need to just be consistent with providing healthy nutrients to our body. And I think a lot of people fall off the wagon when they are not consistent. It's really easy to do convenient food and whatnot.
And when you feel so bad for so long,
Mm-hmm.
you just you get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you, just like for me now, my belief is like, my belief in what these products are doing for me is kind of like in the beginning all over again, because I just spent 2 weeks, which, came to a head last night in the emergency room. My body doesn't do well without this kind of support at all. At all.
That is incredible. Incredible. Your story is just, your journey is incredible, because there are people out there that are dealing with so much less than what you're dealing with. And they still give into that complacency, or that, well, I guess this is just it for me. This is what I'm going to have to deal with. But the truth of the matter is, and what you're an advocate for now and what you're showing is, no, you got to fight for your health, and you can do it, and it feels good.
But I always wondered why I love the chronically ill community. And it's because I have belonged there for so long, but didn't actually have any diagnoses. And now I'm like, but you also, we need to feel good enough to start even thinking that our body is capable of doing more.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the good enough comes from just getting some good stuff in us, and getting rid of some stuff that's been there for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that it started with getting rid of some of that puff?
Oh, gosh.
Giving you more energy and helping your mood? Would you say like those are the three, or some of the things?
And we need to eliminate whatever is clogged. And that is the beginning, because we're not even absorbing anything good. And
right.
I mean, I used to drink water and you could just see my belly fill because it's stuck. It's clogged.
that's not good.
My husband's a plumber, but he can't help me.
Oh, wow. Truvy has a really good rotor rooter called Renew. But I don't want people to be scared because it doesn't
Oh,
it's not like what you take
super,
before
super gentle.
yeah.
And if you would do it just every 3 days or so,
Well, I
not
take
every
one a
6.
day and it just
Okay,
keeps me super regular. And
that's great.
I describe it as nutrients that your whole entire GI system needs, and it's supportive to your intestinal tract and to your whole GI and helps move along those toxins and get the junk out. But it nourishes at the same time so that you can continue to function well. And
Well, I
that
need that
starts
really bad.
yeah, and it promotes healing to your GI tract. So it isn't like you always need to do these huge big push cleanses, but just a constant every day having that um helps your whole system stay regular and good. And yeah, and I tell people sometimes too, and this is a great example that you talked about today, that when you have these nutrients for a while and then all of a sudden you've got to do something happens or whatever, where you don't take it for a few weeks or a month, that's almost when you realize how much it is doing for you. Hmm.
And I had to change my jammies because I was sweating so much.
Oh, I'm glad I don't have that.
Whether
I'm there,
it,
I'm in that time of life, but I don't have to have that. I don't go through that.
I did surgical menopause 2 years ago because of all kinds of issues. But I'm the night sweats, I'm not sure if it's part of my syndromes and a little menopause or what. But the first night I told my husband, okay, the lab results are in and I'm taking this. And I did not have to change my jammies that night.
Wow. So just that hormone regulation and the blood chemistry, you know, yes, there are lots of issues that can take time to heal, time to for this to work for. But there are other things, and everyone's different. We never know what it's going to do for someone, but there are other things that could almost be instantaneous, and you don't know till you try, you know? So it's just incredible learning about your journey and the things that you have been through and where you're at and where you're headed. It's super exciting. And thank you so much for sharing with us. Um, I
Oh,
know that
honey, I'm honored.
Oh, I know it's going to bless people because there are so many people out there that are dealing with so much. And I know we talk a lot in this industry about weight loss, but there are so many other things that people are dealing with that this helps with. And I really wanted to highlight that. And it's just incredible, incredible.
I can tell you one of my medical. Oh, it was when I asked to be referred to University of Minnesota Pain Management, which was after I started feeling better. I'm like, okay, we'll deal with these things one at a time because just being able to garden a bit outside or, nobody wants to just lay around forever.
Yeah.
And it was patient is losing hope for functioning.
Oh my goodness. That was what they had you basically your
I was,
diagnosis?
yes. I'm like,
Oh
what
man.
can I do here? I guess I have to go to pain management. But I'm
Oh,
glad I did because I have a great care team because of starting there and now identifying it's not my whole body, it's parts of my body. And it's mechanical for the most part, which praise the Lord, because
yeah.
organs,
Wow.
I only have one organ left that is able to leave. So, but truly,
Oh,
in the ER last night, I'm like, well, my blood pressure is excellent. Look at that heart rate. Oh my Lord.
that's awesome. And
So yes, we count our
to have hope
blessings.
back. Mhm. That's incredible. Well, my dear, thank you so much. I know that your testimony and your journey is going to be a blessing to so many people. And I thank you so much for being willing to chat with me and to be open and share these things. I know it's just going to be wonderful. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to interview you because you have an awesome story and I want to
Ah,
pick your brain.
one of these days we'll get there.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. I'm going to turn the recording off and
Awesome. Awesome. Because I'm done with you. Just teasing. It was awesome to see you, Lisa.
thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Yeah, it's Christmas time.
Okay. Bye-bye.